Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to season 2 of Steven and Kori. I'm Steven and
I'm Kori.
oh, awesome. We are so fired up, excited to
Get it together.
get it together, right?
Together.
Together.
Thank you for staying plugged in with us when
Oh,
we were on
yes,
our vacay.
that's right.
We had a great anniversary in the Caymans, and you
The
guys were a part of
Grand
it.
Cayman Islands was
Yeah, it was great.
fabulous.
And we answered a lot of your questions at that
Yes.
time. So, yes, we are still plugged in even when we're on vacation. We're answering questions because we enjoy you guys.
And as always, if you get value from this, make sure you like and subscribe to our
And
YouTube channel
share.
and
Yeah.
share most of
Ring that
all.
notification bell on
Ring it,
YouTube.
baby,
Yes.
ring it.
And on Rumble, just subscribe so that you can get your notifications there. And on all of your audio podcasts, you guys make sure that you are part of our family so that you get your notifications so you know when the next episode's coming up. Okay.
Exactly.
So
So
now, yeah, we're going to
season
go into
2,
season
episode
two.
1, it's not me, it's my hormones.
So we started off season one with a bang, with a
Wow.
bang.
Yeah.
And so we decided to start off season two with a
Yeah.
bang.
Exactly.
And this was a request from you guys from season one.
Absolutely.
So this isn't going to hit everyone, but it's going to hit the seasoned marriages and
That's
the
right.
seasoned couples, because it's about andropause and menopause.
And you probably have never even heard of the word andropause, but you will know it from this episode.
Yes, for those of you out there, andropause is the male version of menopause.
Exactly.
So,
I
ladies,
mean, raise your hand if you've heard of menopause.
yeah,
Most of us
or
have been.
hit the bell, or
Yeah.
if you're on audio, make sure you make a comment because it's interesting. Of course, everybody's heard of menopause because women
Right.
complain about it so much. Women are
Exactly.
like, "I'm hot, I'm flashing, I'm moody." But andropause, men go through that, and men are not big talkers like women, so you don't hear a lot about it. But we're going to talk about it. What we like to help you guys do is get it together up here together. Like Steven said in episode 9 of last season, we talked about getting together up here so that you're better for each other
Right.
when you're together. Also, as relationship gurus, we want to help you do that. We're not just
Exactly.
talking about that, we're giving you stats and facts. So we're going to move into our first episode. It's not me, it's my hormones. Whatever coming out of my mouth or whatever I'm doing, please understand it's my hormones talking.
But I want to just touch on real quick. We keep some notes in front of us, and I
Mhm.
want to touch on just one thing here that we put in the notes in the show is sometimes you just need to talk. As a husband and wife, you run into life situations and life circumstances, and sometimes you
Mhm.
just need to talk
Yeah.
and communicate. We just
Mhm.
never want to forget that because one of the things that we're looking to do in this podcast is build a community for open forums, topics, things that you guys are going through, you want to talk about and get them on the table.
Yeah, that's true. So let's go into andropause first. So our team has given us information on the definition for andropause. So for those of you who are listening, we are reading this off of what we have learned, what the definition of andropause is. For men, a collection of symptoms, including fatigue, emotional fatigue, weight gain, and a decrease in libido experienced by some middle-aged or older men. Steven's raising his hand for everything. Attributed to a gradual decline in testosterone levels, excuse me. Men estrogen levels may become stronger or major over testosterone levels. Thoughtful emotions are higher. So when we talk about that, the thoughtful emotions are, what am I leaving as a legacy? I hope my wife understands how much I care for her. Did I really pour into my children when they were younger? Because it's the estrogen levels that are higher, the emotional, comforting, nurturing, softer side of. Remember, every human body has testosterone and estrogen.
That's right.
It's just that females have a higher estrogen and males have a higher testosterone. But when you go through hormonal depletion, men deplete the testosterone, so the estrogen levels. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but we talked about it the first season, how our daughter said to their dad, to
Man
Stephen,
boobs.
yeah, "Dad, you have boobs." Well, that's part of andropause. When you're moving into that, your estrogen levels come up. So all of a sudden you're getting a belly like women. Thank you, men. I'm so glad you get to experience that. You get the belly and you get the boobs. Even some of men get hippie.
It's true.
So and the emotions and the fatigue, all those things happen because your testosterone is slowing down or depleting and
That's
the
right.
estrogen is piling up. So if you feel like, oh, I'm getting fat or I'm getting out of shape, I'm losing my hair. Yeah. Guess what? That's andropause.
And many times people have joked about this with guys. They get a certain age and they go out and they get their red Corvette and they do all these kind of
Mhm.
crazy things. Maybe those are driven by these kind of things, but that is definitely not the answer.
No,
You
no.
might think that's the
Yeah.
answer, but that is not
Yeah.
the answer.
Or some guys say, I need my libido's low and it's my wife's fault. So let
Right.
me go
So they
get a
go
girl.
chasing
Let me go get
skirts,
a chick on the side. No,
chick on the side.
your
Yeah.
libido's still low. It's just that the girl's working harder than your wife. So you're just like, I need somebody to work harder than my wife. And that's because you need to get some hormone replacement,
Yeah.
not a chick on the side.
That's true.
So that is what andropause is. Do you want to explain menopause, what we have here?
Sure. I'm going to actually read this verbatim.
Yeah.
What is menopause? And some say, men, you need to pause. But that's not it. Here we go. So, what is menopause? Women at a point in time when women may have hot flashes, fatigue, emotional fatigue, weight gain, and a decrease in libido or other symptoms. This most often begins in middle age. In women, testosterone levels may become stronger or major over the estrogen. That's interesting. So starts becoming more like aggressive, like he.
Mhm.
Um, they can be short tempered and impatient with everything, not just a few things. Can you imagine that?
Yes.
Mad
Yes, I
woman,
can. Yes.
impatient,
Yes.
everything. Why don't you hurry up? I don't know. Okay. So anyway, testosterone levels are ranking higher in her, and she actually does not miss sex at all because she has a low libido.
Mhm.
Some of the guys are probably wondering, geez, I didn't realize it could actually go lower. Yeah, it
It
can.
does.
Yes, it can.
Well, here's the thing. Can I interrupt for just a
Of
moment?
course,
Okay,
honey.
so it starts at middle age. Well, what is middle age?
Yeah, that's right.
So that's something that you have to track. It literally is a genetic passed on from your parents. So you have to look back. If your parents are alive, or if you have that conversation, or you feel like you can have that conversation, and ask them, when did you hit andropause, Dad? He might not even know, but ask the questions. When did you hit menopause, Mom? Because it might be a track record for you to be able to identify. Okay, this is why I'm irritated. This is why I have a low sex drive because I'm actually entering into the depletion of estrogen.
Yes.
And the testosterone this is why I'm so mean.
Yes.
This is why I'm short-tempered.
And
Yeah.
let's just say this, guys. Let me just say this right here. Okay. We're talking about a very real issue here.
Yeah.
And you don't really hear about these things, right? I had never heard of andropause, literally. I had never heard of it. So these are very real issues that we're tackling here. You might also get, for you guys, your wife might say things like, I'm tired, I'm hot. And then the next thing she's saying, I'm cold, right? Honey, go fix this, put the air on, honey. And then, honey, did you put the air on? Yeah, I did. No, I'm freezing. Would you give me a blanket out of there, would you?
Or or the husband is sitting over there freezing and the woman's sitting there
Yes, it's
laying
like,
out with a fan over
what's
her.
with
Yeah.
this crazy woman?
And
My
that's all
gosh.
about the testosterone levels. Your hormones are exactly what is building everything about your emotional state, your physical state. When those things start quacking out like that, and I'm
Oh,
calling
yeah.
it quacking out,
Yeah.
you don't realize what you're going through.
Oh, it's
It
incredible.
is. It is. So yeah,
Yeah.
we're talking about that.
So here's another one. She'll say something like, I feel like I'm fat. I'm out of shape. Oh my God, I'm losing my hair. These are these testosterone levels just really wreaking havoc on
But you know
her.
what I find interesting is that it's the same on male and female. It's just that the imbalance is causing
Oh, yeah.
the loss of hair or the weight gain or the tired and fatigue. So that tells you that if you have too much of one
Right.
versus the other, when your body is used to one,
Yes.
it will affect you. And it's amazing what it affects. It affects
Absolutely.
hair loss, emotions, tiredness,
Yes.
all those things, short temperedness. Those are the immediate things. Forget about what's going actually
Yeah.
on in your physical body. This
Yes.
is the outward effect that you
And
see.
ladies and gentlemen, one of the things I have to say too is, we're going to get into our personal experiences as well, but just keep in mind that most of us have never gone through this before.
Yeah.
And so it's
Mhm.
so strange.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can literally, if you watch it, guys, you watch your wife, you actually literally see her perspiring.
Yeah.
When one of those flashes hits her, you will literally see her break out.
Just drenching. Yeah.
It
Like she
is
just came out of
really,
the shower. Yeah.
yes,
And men
yes.
don't usually men are
No.
not getting hot flashes. So it's important to be in tune with your spouse and
Oh, yeah.
not think it's over. Well, maybe you ate the wrong thing and that's why you're hot.
Yeah, it
No,
has
I'm
nothing to
just
do with
hot.
it.
Yeah. So we're going into stats and facts, which now that you understand what that is, what andropause and menopause is, Science Direct Journal call it couple pause.
Couple pause.
Science Direct Journal has named it couple pause. It's a new paradigm in treating sexual dysfunction during menopause and andropause, sexual dysfunction. Okay. Both members of a couple may experience age related changes concurrently in interdependently. In such cases, it is unhelpful and sometimes detrimental to treat the symptoms for only one member of the couple without treating the other. I think that's great because
Yeah.
even if you're not going through it,
Right.
you should be treated with your spouse so that you can
100%.
understand what
Yes.
they're going through. And if you haven't gone through it and your spouse has, like I went first, at least Steven's like, okay, now I'm aware.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure he's like, I hope I don't have to experience all of that. So he didn't have to experience the same stuff, but I felt he was like, oh dang.
Oh, yeah.
Am I gonna have to go through that?
Oh, my God. Seriously. I mean, my God, I was like
And so
praying for you every day,
yes,
you know?
and praying for you. Because I wasn't praying for him. I was like,
Yeah.
so anyway, Priority Men's Medical Center tells us the following. So there's a place called Priority Men's Medical Center.
I didn't know that existed, folks.
And they tell you that andropause does not necessarily, this is interesting. Andropause does not necessarily affect all men. In
Yeah.
fact, it has been found and reported that most men do not experience a significant or rapid decrease in testosterone to the point of being diagnosed with andropause. Now, I think that's just terrible. I think every man has to go through it because every woman has to go through it.
Well,
But most men don't experience the extreme level.
that's right.
So men, husbands out there, it's important for them to be very sensitive to their wives because they may never experience it.
It's very true.
So, the wife could,
Or it may come much later.
yeah, or the wife could be like, there could be some real jealousy or aggravation, like,
Sure.
you're not going through anything and look at me, and they're like, well, honey, I'm here for you. Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
You just don't know,
It's true.
because if men
My
don't
wife is funny. She keeps me laughing.
if men don't experience that, they would never have any idea. So it's really important. Back to the first
Sure.
stat was go through this together.
And here's a very interesting point of fact here. Contrary to females, like when women go through menopause, they actually lose their fertility. Many of them lose a level of fertility.
Mhm.
Well, this was a big footnote mentioned that in andropause, men actually it does not inhibit their fertility.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that they're not shooting blanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is why you have so many older men who have young children.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It's like, what? How can you keep having? They're not having it with an older woman, that's for sure. But
And let me read this verbatim. It says,
mhm.
the truth is that andropause does not inhibit a man's ability to be fertile.
Mhm.
Guys, okay, remember that. Right. So, and however, but women do lose their fertility. So I just wanted to make that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
Right.
we
Go ahead.
definitely do, as we all know, right? Women who've been through it.
Yeah.
Again, for you young women who haven't been there yet, take notes
Yeah.
because it's going to happen. And again, ask your mother or your grandmother if you know who they are or if they're alive. When did they go through it? Hopefully, they're willing to talk to you because
Sure.
women, you are going to go through it, not a doubt. Now, granted, some women go through it when they have a hysterectomy.
Mhm. Yeah.
So they go through it so early that they're like, I don't think I went through menopause because I had a hysterectomy earlier. You did. You went through it.
Right.
It wasn't as severe because you
Yeah.
still had the other hormones.
Right.
So let's see. You want to talk about this one?
So the emotions related to menopause of women losing their fertility and their desire for sexual intercourse can cause a man's emotions, which would be related to andropause, to start to look elsewhere and for fulfillment on the sexual side. Because ultimately, what they believe that they're dealing with this woman who they've never really dealt with before in terms of all these crazy emotions, and maybe they were not active, sexually much before, and now there's really a drought. The truth is, men literally do not understand what their wives are going through. This is a massive physiological change, and men just don't typically understand it. Now, there is information out there that you can get to educate yourself about this, and we'll get into that a little bit more. But let me go ahead.
I want to touch on this one. So, you ladies out there, menopause hormones decrease and change rapidly versus andropause. Andropause goes slowly. So this is another reason why we're men. This is why we're hit with hot flashes and cold flashes because this is
Hormones.
hormones are depleting. So since it goes so fast, our bodies are just
Right.
it's like our bodies are in a thunderstorm all
Sure.
the time. So when men go through, it's a slow gradual, and women, it's like powerful. I mean, it's just depleting
Right.
quickly. I don't know why God did that to us.
I don't
I
know.
mean, maybe because our bodies are so much more developed for producing children and all those other things. So, okay, so hormones decrease gradually, but are persistent over time. Hence, why men don't understand. Yeah, why men don't understand what their wives are going through during the
Yeah.
change. So we have a global stat. We try to do global stats whenever we can find them. You
I
want
want
to
to do
read
this
that
one.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
go ahead.
global in this
It's
source we call
called yeah.
Science Direct. It was found that the average age of menopause in Europe, okay, was 55 years old. And in North America, obviously where we are, the reported average age was 51.4. And I think that might be with respect to the onset of menopause, or I'm sorry, for andropause. So,
No
or
menopause.
menopause.
Yeah.
That's right.
So that's 51 in 4 months.
51.
Point
Okay.
four,
Right. And Latin America reported an average age of 48.6. This is interesting, though. If you
Mhm.
look around the world, how, menopause, the onset of menopause. And then ultimately in Asia, reported an average of 51.1.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
interesting, isn't it?
So the younger Latin America is younger, and the oldest is in Europe.
And again, this was with respect to the onset
Mhm.
of the menopause,
Yeah.
kind of cycle.
Right. Because you have premenopause, menopause, and postmenopause.
Yeah. There's
So
something called perimenopause too.
which is post.
That's
Yeah, that's
post. Okay.
post. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The National Library of Medicine cross section. So there's a National Library of Medicine cross sectional research conducted on 600 men living in the city of Iraq in Iran in 2017 with an increase in age up to 50 years and above. So 600 men with an increase in age up to 50 years and above. The statement, I feel my sex drive has decreased, had the highest correlation with andropause. And the statement, I feel I have no value for society, had the lowest
Wow.
correlation with andropause. So look at that scope.
It's incredible.
And I wonder because men are more sexually driven, that did they notice that quicker? I have a lower sex drive as opposed to the correlation of I feel I have no value for society. But that is part of the andropause when the emotions, the
Right.
hormone of estrogen is higher.
Sure. Yeah.
So bottom line, when couples learn to understand what that is, that andropause and menopause,
Mhm.
it's easier to support each other. You
Right.
got to support each other. You
That's
got
right.
to go through all the profound and complexities of dealing with this
That's right. Yeah.
medical term. This
It's
is a
very real.
medical,
Yeah.
real thing that will happen
Yeah.
in your marriage, in your life, whether you're married or not. Yeah.
Your body is manufactures, if you will, these different hormones, when you're younger, and as you age, the body begins not to manufacture these things to the extent that they need to be to keep it at an optimal
Mhm.
level.
Yeah.
So it begins to decrease. And
Right.
that's why all these shifts are taking place.
And this
Right.
is why we talk about the communication so important because when you can conquer that just by talking about how
Yes.
and being open to understanding that this is not a facade. Nobody is just saying, oh, you're just saying that because you're tired. No, this is real.
Right.
It causes you to become stronger and have a more loving relationship because you are putting yourself, you're serving the other person by putting yourself in their shoes and finding out more about what they're dealing with.
Exactly. And I would say that, to be totally candid here, that my love for my wife, I think, grew a few notches quite a bit because you actually watch as they're going through this, and you can't
Mhm.
help but have a sense of, you know, um, you sort of want to have some empathy,
Mhm.
for them, and really be there to help them through this,
Yeah.
right?
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're talking about us now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we get real raw with us.
Is it okay if we do that? To give you what we have walked
Yeah,
through
I
in
know.
this space?
Oh gosh. So you
Yeah.
guys, I'm gonna start off because I started first. So my experience going through menopause was first of all, I heard a lot of women. I went to this conference and I was in my early 40s and I heard these women in the bathroom talking about all these freak incidences that were going on with them and how they were hot flashing and sweating
She
and
said,
how they were
"Stephen, you
irritated.
wouldn't believe what I heard in the
Oh
in
my
the ladies'
gosh.
room."
So fortunately, I was just like, yikes, what am I in for? Because I didn't know what it was. But when I came out of the bathroom, I realized two of the women that were talking with this group, I had known them. They were at the conference. So I said to them, what are you guys talking about? And they said, oh, honey, that's menopause. I'm like, what am I in for? Are you kidding? Oh, well, I'm not going to have that. They're like, oh, yeah, you're going to have that. I'm like, oh my gosh. So
Right.
that was my first experience of just hearing about it before experiencing it.
Oh, yeah.
So, and here's the thing, ladies, sometimes you don't even know it's starting. If you're not getting hot flashes first, and sometimes you don't get those first. I didn't get them first. You don't realize where you're at in your emotions. And we were all on vacation and, I was apparently being a little itchy, you know what I'm saying? Not nice. And,
Itch with a B.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Let's just be clear about that.
And so Steven and our 2 daughters volunteered our youngest
Oh,
daughter to come into the kitchen and talk to me. And she said to me, "You know, mom," she was representing the family. "Mom, you're kinda mean right now. You're not being very nice." I'm like, "What are you talking about? What do you mean I'm
we
mean?"
had to strategize. We
Yeah,
sent
I
the
mean, they all
youngest
yeah,
one in there to
go in there and
battle.
talk to Bob. See what she does. If you come back with a
Uh,
bloody eye, then we'll know.
yeah, I mean,
No.
these hormones were popping back. What she's talking about then, I mean, it was really starting
Yeah.
to take
And
off.
so I was actually denying that I was in it because I'm like, I know I was in my 50s, but I just thought, no way,
It was
no
early
way.
50s.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so sure enough, I started realizing, I guess I am a little short. And here's how it starts. Sometimes it starts off just by being a little short with your words or the look you give somebody. Cause my face shows a lot of expression if you guys haven't noticed. And so when I have an expression that, anyway, so yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
And, what I did was I just started, I knew I needed help and I didn't know who to talk to. So I went to the family and I said, listen, I'm sorry. Can you guys tell me when I'm acting like this? And they're like, I just decided I'm going to dig in and start talking to some friends and finding out what's going on. And then Stephen came along and said, okay, listen, you need some help.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. One of my friends I spoke to, and she advised me to go to her doctor. And it was great because when I went to her doctor, who became my doctor, it was all about the regeneration of your body, revitalizing your body, and the hormone. They dealt with that, and it
Yeah.
was all about the blood and getting your hormones balanced with supplements and things like that. So it has been a beautiful outcome.
Yes.
So yeah, so very
Wonderful.
happy about that. But my biggest thing was the family was patient with me.
Hmm.
You know, the family has got to be patient. A lot of kids don't understand that. And I think it's up to the husband to explain to the kids
Sure.
because I can't, women are like, I can't verbalize this because I don't even know what's going on with me.
Sure. I mean, one of the things you've got to keep in mind is that the solution to this is what's known as bioidentical
Hmm.
hormone replacement. Okay. So as your body is depleting these hormones, they actually have to be restored. And
Hmm.
so, some people use it more from a prescriptive standpoint, but we're using it from a natural
Yeah.
point of view and getting our blood red and things like that. And so I'll give you a little bit about me in my early 40s when I was in the gym working out. I used to hear guys talking about this pill called Viagra and another pill called Cialis. Okay, and I was just really beginning to get this two-letter word called ED, erectile dysfunction. I was just starting to get into my level of consciousness. I really didn't know much about it, but certainly at that point in my life, I could not ever imagine that that would even ever be an issue.
Hmm.
Are you kidding me? No way, not me, baby. You know, but fast forward to about age 58, and my world changed. Wow,
Hmm.
right? My world changed. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. This was like, first of all, I like fast cars. So I own a Porsche. And imagine you're speeding down the road in a Porsche and you're just humming, man, and you're just going, and all of a sudden it just stops. I mean, literally, it stops and you can't start it back up. Nothing will move. You actually have to call a tow truck and get it towed away. That was me. At 58, one time we were being intimate and all of a sudden my engine just and I was like, "What? Wait, what's going on? Oh my gosh." It was so incredibly embarrassing. But one of the things I can say is Kori said to me, "Honey, don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Don't be so hard on yourself. We'll work through
Yeah.
this." And that's exactly what I had been saying to her as she was going through.
Yeah.
So you see how this thing kind of
Wait a minute.
reciprocates?
And the reason I was relieved because I was like, I don't want to do this anyway. It's like, okay, all right, good, get off. Get off. Because I'm
But
still going
that,
through mine.
gentlemen,
Yeah.
that was a head trip. Ladies, that's a head trip for your husband if he's being honest. I
Mhm,
mean,
mhm.
there's ego involved, there's a
Sure.
lot of things involved, and because you don't know really what's going on, right? But again, I was right in the middle of andropause. And you know what? The good news is I decided to go to
To my
see
doctor.
to go to the
Mhm,
practice that Kori is going
mhm,
to, and they read my blood. They said, "Man, your testosterone's totally depleted.
mhm,
Multiple hormones that you really need were depleted." And they got me fixed, and
yeah.
I'm on the road to
Yeah, you
having
are.
fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
So, what was your what was your reflective how did you reflect over
well,
that time?
one thing that I didn't realize is that I had actually become a lot more emotional. I mean, I
Mhm,
found myself, you know, with a attempt to maybe tear up on things that it would never affect me 20 years ago.
mhm,
It could be watching a movie or maybe having a conversation with one of my kids or having a conversation
mhm.
with Corey or a friend or whatever. And all of a sudden, just this flood of emotion. And what that is, guys, it's the estrogen,
Yeah.
right? As your testosterone begins to deplete, the estrogen begins to increase. And all of a sudden, you're now much more
Mhm.
emotional. Oof. Anyway, so
Yeah, yeah.
anyway, go for it.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
oh my gosh, our time is running by here.
okay, well,
We
that's
have to
okay.
get into our
Yeah, we're
questions.
gonna get into our questions. So, we just want you to know, keep in mind that the educational process is for both of you,
That's
okay?
right. And if this is helping you guys, give
Yeah,
us a
yeah,
message.
yeah,
Type
yeah.
in there and let us know what.
Okay, so let's get into the questions.
Yes.
Let's get into our box and see what the first question is. Okay.
Okay, I'll read this one. It
Okay.
says, I've seen my doctor and I am going through andropause, but I really don't know how to talk to my wife about it. Also, if Steven has gone through this, how did he talk to Corey about it? And did he get help? Um, Listen, here's my advice on this. If your wife hasn't gone through menopause,
Mm,
I would highly recommend that if in fact your doctor has diagnosed that you do have this, that you guys do a session with your doctor, okay? Because at the end of the day, you have to get educated about what's truly going on. These are physiological changes that are going on, right?
mhm.
And
Yeah.
they're very real. They're very real. So you'll want to get with your doctor because if your wife hasn't gone through menopause, she keeps living, she's going to go through it,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
It's almost very rare where the husband experiences his change in life before his wife, but it does happen. There are
Sure.
times when that does
Mhm.
happen. So I would highly recommend that. Let's get one more.
You're gonna get the next one after this one. Okay. Let's see. How can I support my wife through menopause when she yells at me or complains so much about everything? Okay. Well, I can tell you, communicate consistently with her and in simple ways, not necessarily talking to her about, her menopause, but try to use questions that are indirect to her, like, how is your day going? And if she says, oh, it sucks, say, really, what happened? Just light conversations on that. Make sure that you are gentle in your conversation with her because
Love on her.
she's
Yeah.
yelling at you,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Sometimes she just needs a hug. She doesn't even realize it.
yeah, or what made your day good or bad, and just let her rant
Yes.
because she has to get it out. I mean, it's a part of her feelings right now, so it's not like she's making it up. So if you can bear it, let her do that because not and here's the other thing, not every woman wants to actually talk. They
Right.
just want to complain. And you're just gonna have to put your earplugs in and sometimes maybe if she is chatting, it relieves some of the stress. So I would say to you, just feel her out and, if she's yelling at you, then that would be a sign that she's got a heavy amount of testosterone flowing through her and less
Right.
estrogen. But catch her on the times where she's just a little bit more calm and ask her about how was your day or what did you do today or how's the project you're working on at
Sure.
work or, whatever it is that she's doing. That ask her about the things that usually bring her joy more than the things that bring her stress. And that would hopefully bring out another conversation that's more pleasant.
Yeah. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does, you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Right.
Go ahead, you're next.
All right. So let's get one more
Mm,
out of our trusty box here. Let's see here. Wow, this is a big one.
Let's see.
Okay. This one says, well, I don't have a problem having sex with my husband. I just kind of hate him what? Let me back up. I don't have a problem having sex with my husband. I just kind of hate him at times. I know it's my hormones, but how do I get past that feeling? Wow. Um, well, I don't think you actually hate him. I mean, what I mean by that is I think that you're just in this. What am I trying to say here? She's
Well, I don't think she hates him because she's confessing that she hates him. I mean,
right.
so I think it's just, and she knows it's her
But
hormones.
but here's what
Yeah.
I'm envisioning. Okay, here's a woman who is just totally like uncomfortable already, right? And if they're trying to, if they're the husband's wanting to be intimate, the last thing she wants is somebody pouncing on her when she's already
Hmm.
flashing, hot and
Hmm.
cold and irritable. The last thing she wants is a 190 or 250
Yeah.
pound guy bouncing on her,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So
You can kind of understand that.
absolutely. And
That's what she hates.
the
She
first
doesn't.
thing she needs to understand is that she is going through, and she says that, but she has to know that when you think, I hate him, she
She
knows
said, I.
that it's her frustration with her weight gain.
Oh
It's
yeah,
her frustration with
say that.
her
It's good.
her hormones whacking out.
Oh
It's
yeah.
her frustration with her emotions.
Maybe she hates
It
herself. She doesn't
really
hate him.
is. Well, she probably doesn't hate herself. You probably hate what
Oh
you're
yeah,
going through.
that's it.
You
That's
hate
it.
what you're going through, and the
Oh
fact
wow.
that he doesn't have to go through it
Yeah.
and you have to go through it. And it just makes me mad because he doesn't have to go through it and I got to deal with all this. So it's probably that.
That's good. That's a
I-
great way to
How
unpack
would I
that.
know that?
Yeah.
So maybe I've been through it. I don't know. But I don't know if I've hated you. I don't
No.
can't say that. But
No, but
think
that's
about it.
actually
You've
very
got
good.
the sweats, you've got depression, you've got
Jeez.
libido, loss of libido. Yeah, you got the hot flashes, lower back pain and menopause too. So those are the things that you hate. Again, if she's going through it, she
Right.
doesn't like that.
Right.
So understand what you really hate
I
is
got
this
it.
experience. And this can all add up to extreme fatigue again because of your emotions.
Yes.
So that just gets you tired too.
Oh, absolutely.
So I would say to you, when he wants to have sex, you tell him, okay, this is how I feel right now.
Yeah.
And go through everything you feel. He might just go, oh, never mind. Never mind. I don't want to even deal with you right now.
That's good.
But
But hey, that's keeping it real. That
it
is
is.
absolutely
It
keeping it
is.
real.
And it's
Yeah.
important for him
So,
to know what you're going through. Like we keep saying,
ladies and
communicate,
gentlemen, we got
communicate.
to wrap this up, man. We're
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
overdue on our
yeah.
time.
So
This was fantastic.
mhm.
I wish we had done that one first. But you say we saved the best for last. We have
Mhm.
several more. But ladies and gentlemen, hope you have enjoyed this show
Yeah.
and got some insight out of this. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tell your friends about it.
Mhm.
We're going to be back here again next week,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And but never forget that life is a journey. And one of the things that Corey and I have realized is that we're on this journey to help so many more couples. We want to help millions of couples get through all the junk
Mhm.
and get it together so you can get on the other side, right? Because when
Mhm.
you get on the other side, there's a lot of love, a lot of joy, a lot of happiness
So
there.
true.
And we're really enjoying that in our life right now.
Yeah.
And many of you are as well.
Yeah.
But we can take this thing to another level, right? We
Absolutely.
can
Yeah.
take it to another level. So until next week, this is Stephen and Corey signing off. And so get it together, right?
Together.
Together.
Take
Take
care.
care.